Okay, it is a new year, and with a new year, that brings change. So a lot of people like to look inwardly and make some internal changes or personal changes in their life. Other people like to make changes for work-related reasons, family, whatever it might be. So I thought, in the spirit of that, I should make some changes in my workshop because it's a bit of a disaster. So I think there's probably going to be a few projects I start to do around that idea. So one of the first things to do is organize this mess behind me. This shelving unit was supposed to be a display unit for some of my larger shows and stuff, and I brought it in here after show and shoved it against the wall, and you know how most workshops are. If you got a horizontal surface, it gets filled with stuff, and that's exactly what happened. So this is going to go away, and we're going to put a storage solution in there that's perfect for me. So if you guys have looked online, pretty much at any DIY storage solution, lately you've seen the big bins or the totes, and you buy a bunch of 2x4s, you build a racking system and you can slide all the totes in and out. Love the idea, but that's not the perfect storage solution. At least for me, because I don't need those big totes, because I don't have big bulky things like, Christmas decorations, camping gear, sports equipment for the kids, that kind of stuff. I have a lot of stuff, but I need smaller bins. So I'm gonna take that idea and put my twist on it and make it something that I need, which will be a perfect storage solution for me. And hopefully these ideas will make the perfect solution for you as well. So what I think I'm gonna do is I gotta make something that fits the same space. So this just happened to fit in here really well, but I basically need to make something similar size. So I think what I'm gonna do is downsize the big storage bins to maybe 5-gallon bins or 3-gallon bins, so that they're a little, easier to handle. So can't fit too much stuff in there, so I can't lose too much stuff in the bottom of a huge bin. So we're gonna make a drawer system on the lower part of that, very similar to those big bins, but it's just smaller bins and the lower section only. We're gonna make some kind of work surface up here. I don't want to say workbench because I don't want to use it as a workbench. It needs to be a work surface. So pull the bin out from the bottom. It has somewhere to land without me having to walk around the shop and put it on a workbench somewhere else. So pull out a bin, plop it on the counter, open it up, grab what I need, put the bin away. That's what this is basically going to be for. And then we'll have some smaller bins at the top because I don't want to reach and pull a big old bin, of something up here and deal with that. So smaller bins up here, larger bins at the bottom, a work surface here, and I think we'll make the top, we'll make that a shelf as well for random, you order something, you throw it up there for a future project you're not quite ready for yet. So it'll be somewhere we can land it, it'll be out of the way for now with our other storage stuff. So that's what I have in my mind. So let's go to the store and buy some parts, some 2x4s, probably some 2x3s, maybe some 1x2s, bunch of screws and nails or whatever, and we'll get started on that. So that sounds fun. Follow along. So I ran to all the box stores this weekend, kind of looked at some different storage bins, and kind of was getting some ideas for this project. So I think what I've settled on are these. So this is a 5-gallon bin, pretty basic, pretty square. So those we're gonna have on the bottom. And then I found this in a bin and everything. I don't like the bin, but I like the idea of these. They're basically ammo cans. So we'll get a bunch of these for the uppers. But I wanted to get these so I had them in hand. I could do some measurements, so I needed, find out where I can put the styles and stuff to slide these in and out. And I'm thinking now that I have them, I may not even do that on the uppers. It might just be shelf and shelf and just stack these, because for every slide I need for a little bin like this, I need to have a divider and a slide on each side, so I lose a couple inches of shelf space. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense for these smaller things. So it might be shelf, like big upper shelf for boxes, smaller shelf for these guys, and then the lower section will be that slide, like the big system has. So, but that's what I got to work with. So let's do some measuring and come up with a little diagram we can work from. Okay, so I think I've got some things figured out. I've got the shop kind of ready to get going on this project. Um, Made some doodles on my project board. Uh, Made a list of supplies that I need. They're all guesstimations because I'm horrible at measuring stuff. So for the layout of the width and kind of spacing for all of the slides for the drawers and stuff, I just put a piece of tape on my countertop and kind of marked things out and made sure that it was all correct and I had the right measurements and stuff, so I could figure out what stock I wanted to use as far as like 2x4s, 2x3s, countertops, all that kind of stuff. And then I kind of doodled it on my little project board and got some rough ideas of what I need. So even when I take time and figure all that out, I'm usually off by a stud or two or something like that. So I'm guesstimating. We'll get a bunch of stuff to get going. If I forget something, I'm super close to the box store, so I'll just run and grab some more stuff. So I think we're ready to go. Got my short list, so let's go get some lumber and start cutting up and putting this thing together. Okay, so I think we're in pretty good shape to get started. As you can tell behind me, I went shopping. So I got all the bins I think we're gonna need. Well, those are, I'm pretty confident about how many we need. So we got all of those. We got a whole pile of lumber here, and I've been staring at it for an hour. And the reason being, I needed to figure out my spacing for my supports that go across here, and in this lower section for the slides for those bins. So I think I've stared at it long enough, got things marked out. So basically, this whole construction project is basically a bunch of ladders or things that look like ladders. So there's going to be 2 ladders on each end. So I can take those measurements and put them on 4 different boards. And so that way, at least the 2 ends are exactly the same. They'll make some shorter ladders that go under that workbench area for the middle portion of the bench for those larger bins. And then put it all together. So I got some screws, got some nails. I think we're in good shape. So let's start cutting up some wood, put on some music, and get to work. Okay, I think we're gonna call it there for the night. We made pretty good progress. We got all our ladders made, so those are the two main ones, or the sides. We're gonna use this as a demo. So that is each side. That's what those larger ones are for. And then those are the ones that are go on the bottom with the slides. I keep calling them for the bins to slide in and out of. So there's 3 in the middle between those two big guys, and that gives me 4 wide by 3 high, so 12 bins. I am a stud short, and surprisingly, it's not because I miscounted. It's because I mismeasured and I cut one of the taller string, or one of the taller boards short by an inch. So I wasted a board basically. Used it for something else, but it made me short a board. So I'll grab another one of those in the morning, and then that stack is to connect these two together and have something for. Basically, I'm going to put a band around it. So 2x4 banding around the bottom, around the middle where that counter is going to be, and then around the top where that top shelf is going to be, and that'll give a little more structure. And then we'll see how it is square and all that kind of stuff. If I need to add some maybe plywood or something in the back, I don't know. We'll see. So that's where we are tonight. We'll pick it up tomorrow. Okay, it's the next morning. It's a new day. Got my hat on backwards. That means we're ready to work. So I got that extra stud that I was short, so grabbed that this morning, cut it down. Marked them all so I know where my verticals are going to go for the lower section. So it's always tough when you're working by yourself, is how do you get the vertical thing upright, screw stuff to that's horizontal, connect it to the other thing. So anyway, watch me struggle, because that's what we're going to do now. We're going to get the main carcass of the thing together. Then we can do countertops and shelves and all that kind of stuff. So do a little time lapse and watch me put this thing back together. Sneaking around behind your back, meaning I've been doing some stuff on the storage system while you weren't looking. So, I test fitted these and they fit in just fine. But, there wasn't anything to stop them. They just slide right out the back. So I put some stops in there, and that's just some strapping, super cheap stuff. It's like $1 something a piece. So just somewhere for the bin to hit. And so that when all the bins are in place, everything is nice and level in the front and looks a little bit cleaner. So I got those in. I put an extra support in here for the countertop that's going to go in. I'll put the back side of the upper shelves in. I think I'm going to cut the shelves now. So we'll do countertop, top shelf, and then these are going to be like half shelves, just big enough for our bins here. Since we're not going to make these hang and I'm not going to use these trays have a little spacer in them to keep them nice and organized. I think when I make the shelf, I think I've got some MDF or something like that. I'm going to take more of this strapping and just make some places for these bins to land. So it'll be a nice little place for them to slide in with a backstop. So that's what we're going to do for the upper shelves. It's going to be 2 of them, and then that top shelf will just like for big box and stuff, like the thing behind it. So, oh, the other thing I noticed too is this is taller than the existing one, so I'm gonna have to take down my little rack on the wall there and move that up too. So that'll be later. Anyway, those get countertops cut, and then we'll work on the shelving and stuff. Anyway, the small details take forever, so I felt I was going pretty good on the storage unit, and then came to a screeching halt after I cut the countertops and stuff and the shelving. So got those done, and my workshop is set up to do small items, not to take down or tear down or cut down sheet goods and stuff. So that just made a disaster. But anyway. This is what I'm currently working on. So I got the countertop and the shelving all cut. I got the top shelf cut and stuff. So I've still got to tack them in, but I figured while it was easily accessible, I would put my furring strips on there and make my little slots for my bins to go in. So I'll do that before I install the shelf. So I stared at it for a while, not quite as long as my thing yesterday, but made a couple errors. And the big thing was I just thought I could use the strapping as I bought it. I'm gonna have to rip these down. I tried some with 1 inches. That's a little bit too narrow. So 1.25 inches is the winner. So I'm gonna cut these down to 1.25 inches thick, probably after I cut them all down, because then I can just run them through the table saw real quick. But I gotta cut a bunch of those, and then probably tack them to this thing. And then I will take the whole thing and attach it to where the shelf goes, and then I'll put the 2x3 on the front and it'll support underneath once that is up there. So that's what's next. So we'll see how much we've recorded that or how much we do in high speed. So right, we're approaching the finish line. So we've got a couple things left to do. I got all of those done. So we got the little nesting places for our smaller bins. I just need to finish putting on this support on the front. I just kind of left that off. So the shelves are all connected to the frame. I just nailed those on really quick. So the upper shelf and then these two middle shelves for the small bins. So it's got some clamps holding everything up in place so that this MDF isn't sagging. So I will tack the MDF shelf to the wood, and I will run through some screws in the side to give this a little more support. And then we should be able to put some stuff on there. So with that being said, I think we're gonna knock those two things out, those two shelves. The thing's done, but it's getting late and my place is a disaster. So I think that's another few hours of cleaning up and making room for this to go. And I gotta pull that rack off the wall and stuff. So I think we'll just finish up the last few things tomorrow. So let me get these shelves together and see you tomorrow. Oh, just in time. I got the other one, and see you guys tomorrow. All right, good morning. We're pretty much done the building portion of this video, so let me show you where we are. We're pretty much done, so I think it turned out pretty good. Lower sections for the larger bins. We got a work surface to land all the bins. We can pull a bin out from underneath and put it up there and dig through it. And then we've got little spots for the upper bins. Made some little slots for them to fit in, so we get that all organized as well. And then we have a top shelf. So I think when we left yesterday, I just finished up some supports and stuff for the shelves, so that are all done. I added some supports in the middle of everything, so all the shelves have them, just like the countertop. I think I showed you the countertop. So everything is in place and it's done. So the only thing I still want to do, it's slightly racked to the left, so I need to push it to the right a little bit. And I'll probably add a diagonal on the back side of the cabinet, and that'll keep it from moving around. So dimensional lumber, it's not the greatest to build, we'll say, furniture out of, but overall, this is going to work really well. And I think it turned out really well. So it's just racked slightly. So I'm going to put a diagonal support in the back before we slide it into place and put all the bins and stuff in there. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to put that support in. Then we're going to move some stuff around, get this against the wall, and then get all the bins in it and get the final view of everything. So stand by for that. All right, we are done with the project. So nothing more than to fill it up. So it's kind of where we are. The bins are all in. Moved everything out of the way. Got my rack off the wall that had my miscellaneous long stuff in it. So I'm going to spend the weekend going through the garage and organizing some stuff, because as good as that looks, I just shoved everything to this side of the workshop. So I think next is I've got to find somewhere to land all those tools that were on the rack at the rack downstairs in the basement. I think I might reuse this guy, but slide him over here and make it the miter saw station, because I do use that a lot. Find a better place for the saw. Anyway, I got a lot of things to figure out. So it's a start, and that's sometimes the worst part of a project, is getting started on it. So if you like that storage solution, like, share, and subscribe if you would. I got some other stuff to figure out here in the garage. I'll spend some time this weekend thinking about it, but stay tuned. And if you would, like, share, subscribe, and we will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.